The huge meeting hall floated above the planet Vexara Prime, like a giant shining jewel made of crystal and glowing energy fields. The oldest races in the galaxy came here to talk and decide things. The air inside smelled clean and cold from machines that kept everything perfect. Delegates sat in rows that curved up high like a bowl. Each seat matched the body shape of its owner. Some were wide for big creatures, some were wet pools for water beings, some were hot stones for ones made of crystal. Ambassador Elias Thorne stood alone at the round platform in the middle. He wore a simple gray suit with a small Earth flag on his chest. He looked small next to the tall insect shapes and giant crystal forms around him. His face stayed calm. His hands rested easy at his sides. He did not move much. The Clefairy High Arbiter rose first. It looked like a tall bug with a shiny green and blue shell. Its many legs clicked on the floor as it walked to its speaking place. Its voice came out strong, sharp and fast like many small knives cutting air. It pointed one claw arm at the big light picture that floated above everyone. The picture showed Earth from space, with its few space stations and slow cargo ships moving in neat lines. "These soft mammals from the small blue world think they belong with us," said the Arbiter, in its clicking voice. "Their machines burn old fuel and push with fire. Their numbers fill only one small planet. Their words on the galaxy talk streams are loud but empty. They bring jokes and loud songs, nothing useful." Loud laughs filled the hall. The Vorath, who looked like living glass, made deep booming sounds that shook the air. The Solarans in their water tanks sent bubbles up fast in happy patterns. The Quar, who were big lumps of thinking rock, ground their pods together in rough agreement. Even the small flying ones made high buzzing laughs. Elias Thorne waited until the noise died down. He stepped one step forward to the speaking spot. A soft light glowed around him so everyone could see his face clear. He spoke in a steady voice that carried to every seat without shouting. "We heard what you said about us. We will think about your words." More laughs came this time, louder. The Clefairy Arbiter waved its claws in a fast circle to show it found the human funny. It turned to the others and spoke again. "See how they answer? They do not fight back. They only listen like young ones who know they are small. We should help them understand their place." A tall Vorath delegate stood up. Its body flashed bright colors as it talked. "We vote now. Let Earth stay as a watched child, not a full friend. No trade rights, no protection. Let them grow slow on their little rock." Hands, claws, tentacles, and light beams rose all around the hall. Almost everyone agreed. Only 3 small voices said no, but no one listened to them. The light board above showed the result in clear symbols. Earth lost its chance to join as equal. Elias Thorne bowed once. Very small and polite. 2 guards in silver armor walked to his side. They led him out through a side door. The laughs followed him down the long crystal hall. Some delegates called out words in their languages. Words that meant hairless monkey, go home to trees, play with sticks. He did not look back. He kept his face the same. He walked steady until the door closed behind him. Inside the human guest ship, Elias sat in the small command chair. The ship was old but clean. It had strong walls and good engines. The crew waited quiet. They knew something big just happened. Elias looked at the main screen. It showed the shining council hall getting smaller as the ship moved away. "Send the message now," he said soft. The communications officer nodded. She pressed keys. A small light blinked green, then red. The message went out fast and hidden. It carried only a few words. "Protocol Erebus starts. All ships go quiet now." Elias leaned back in his chair. He closed his eyes for 1 second, then opened them again. He looked at the stars outside the window. They looked the same as always, cold and far. But something felt different now. The galaxy laughed at Earth today. Tomorrow the galaxy would wait for an answer it did not expect. Back in the council hall, the delegates talked and drank strange drinks. They told each other stories about the funny human who stood so still. They laughed again at the memory of his calm face. They said he would go home and tell his people to stay small. They said Earth would never bother anyone again. The Clethari Arbiter sat high in its seat. It lifted a cup made of thin crystal. It drank slow. Its many eyes looked happy. It thought the day ended perfect. The weak ones knew their place now. The strong ones stayed strong. Night came to the space around Vexara Prime. Lights dimmed in the big hall. Cleaners moved silent to pick up cups and fix seats. Delegates went to their embassy ships. Some slept. Some talked more about trade and wars. None talked about humans anymore. They thought humans no longer mattered. But far away in dark places ships waited. Ships bigger than anyone knew. Ships hidden behind moons and inside asteroid belts. Ships built in secret for many years. Crews checked systems one last time. Engineers locked final panels. Captains read quiet orders from Earth. All lights went dark. All engines cooled. All voices stopped. The galaxy slept easy that night. It dreamed of power and control. It did not know the dream would change by morning. Elias Thorne stood at the window of his small ship. He watched the stars again. He thought about home. He thought about the people who trusted him. He thought about the laugh that still rang in his ears. He made no sound. He only watched. The ship flew quiet toward the jump point. Soon it would vanish too, just like the others, just like everything human the galaxy could see. The stars stayed bright. They waited. They always waited. The night cycle wrapped around Vexara Prime like a thick blanket of black. The council hall lights faded to soft blue. Many delegates already slept in their embassy ships. Others stayed awake to drink more and talk about the easy win over the humans. The Clethari High Arbiter floated in its private chamber. It reviewed messages on a thin crystal screen. It smiled with all its mouth parts. The humans would stay small now. The galaxy felt safe again. Far from the bright hall, sensors began to notice strange things. First, a small human cargo ship named Hopeful Trader stopped sending its normal signal. The ship carried food packs and metal parts for a nearby station. The station crew waited for the usual radio hello from the captain. Nothing came. The signal simply vanished like a candle blown out. The station sent a query message. No answer came back. The sensors swept the last known spot. Empty space showed on every screen. No wreck, no explosion, no trace. Clean. More signals failed next. A passenger liner called New Dawn went quiet. It carried families moving to a new colony. The ship had loud music playing on open channels. Now, the music stopped. The open channels carried only silence. The tracking arrays searched hard. They found nothing. The liner left no trail. Across the trade lanes, other human ships followed the same path. One after another, their bright transponders blinked off. No warnings. No calls for help. Just gone. The galaxy traffic control logs filled with question marks. Human vessels that once clogged the routes with chatter now left wide, empty paths. The Clethari watch officer noticed first. It tapped its claws on the control panel. It checked the numbers again. The human fleet count dropped fast. From 112 active ships to 90, then 60, then 30. The drop happened in minutes. The officer sent an urgent alert to the Admiralty. Admiral Kress received the message in her sleep chamber. Her shell clicked loud in anger. She opened the main display. The map showed red warning lights where human ships used to be. She ordered full scans. Deep space arrays turned. Their beams swept wide. Nothing answered back. The three big human warships stayed near the edge of Council space for many years. People called them the Old Guardians. Their names were painted big on the hulls: Indomitable, Resolute, Vengeance. The ships looked heavy and plain compared to the sleek alien designs. The aliens laughed at them often. They said the names sounded like toys. The humans never argued. They just stayed in place, polite and quiet. Now the watch arrays locked on those three positions. The screens showed clear space where the dreadnoughts once floated. No heat blooms, no engine glow, no gravity ripples. The ships vanished without a sound. No jump flash, no debris cloud. They left perfect nothing behind. Admiral Cress stared at the empty map. Her mandibles opened wide. She spoke to her staff in a low hiss. "Find them. Bring proof of destruction or capture. Do it now." Search ships launched fast. Small, fast scouts raced to the last known spots. They arrived quick. Their sensors swept every direction. Nothing. The space looked untouched. No battle marks. No radiation scars. The scouts sent back live feeds. The feeds showed only stars and dust. The humans left no footprints. Panic moved slow at first. Then it grew. The Vorath crystal mines linked together. They ran probability checks. The numbers came back wrong. They said no race could hide so many ships so fast. The chance sat near zero. Still the ships stayed gone. The Solarans sent water drones to check old human routes. The drones found empty shipping lanes, no wake trails, no discarded parts. The humans cleaned up perfect before they left. The core rock mines ground slow. They asked their deep data pools for answers. The pools returned silence. The humans slipped through every net, every listening post, every spy probe, every hidden. On the human delegation shuttle, Elias Thorne sat in the command seat again. The crew worked quiet around him. No one spoke loud. The lights stayed low to save power. The ship drifted slow toward the outer jump point. Elias looked at the small screen. It showed status reports from across the galaxy. Every human asset received the order. Protocol Erebus ran smooth. Ships powered down active beacons. Engines switched to cold mode. Hulls cooled to match background temperature. Active sensors shut off. Passive ones listened only. Crews moved careful. No extra noise, no extra heat. All radio silence held tight. In hidden places, the real work continued. Deep inside gas giant shadows, massive yards floated silent. They built ships bigger than Council scouts ever saw. The yards used no lights that could leak out. Workers wore suits with perfect seals. No exhaust leaked, no sparks flew. The construction stopped when the order came. All tools locked down. All machines slept. Bases waited underground. Tunnels ran deep. Caves held fleets of sleek fighters and heavy cruisers. The bases sealed tight. Air recyclers hummed low. Gravity stayed steady. The crews read the recall message. They nodded once, then began shutdown steps. In the cold dark of the Kuiper Belt, mobile docks drifted. They looked like big rocks from far away. Up close, the rocks hid gunports and launch bays. The docks received the same order. They drifted farther out. They matched speed with distant comets. They became invisible again. Elias watched the final confirmations roll in. Green lights blinked one by one. All fleets acknowledged. All assets went dark. The map on his screen showed human space as a small, quiet circle. Nothing moved inside it. Nothing spoke from it. He turned to his communications officer. "Send the last part," he said. She nodded. She typed fast. A single encrypted burst shot out. It carried no words, only a code that meant everyone understood. The burst vanished quick. Elias stood up. He walked to the observation window. The stars looked peaceful. He thought about the council hall. He thought about the laughs. He thought about the morning that would come. The aliens would wake up. They would look for humans. They would find nothing. He smiled small. No one saw it. He kept it inside. The shuttle engines whispered soft. They prepared for the final jump. The ship would vanish too, just like the rest. Back on Vexara Prime, the night grew deeper. The delegates dreamed of victory. They did not know the galaxy changed while they slept. The quiet spread wide. The silence grew thick. By morning, the joke would end. The laughter would stop. The questions would start. The stars watched. They always watched. They saw everything. They kept every secret. The morning light cycle began on Vexara Prime. The council hall filled with delegates once more. They walked in groups. They talked about trade deals and border disputes. Some still smiled about the human vote from yesterday. The big crystal doors opened wide. The seats filled up fast. The air smelled fresh from the night cleaners. The Clethari High Arbiter took its high place. It clicked its mandibles in greeting. It looked around the hall with calm eyes. It noticed the human podium stood empty. No gray suit, no calm face, no small Earth flag. The Arbiter felt pleased. It raised one claw to start the session. "Let the record show the human delegation chose not to return," said the Arbiter in its sharp voice. "Perhaps they finally learned their small place. We move to other matters now." A low sound of agreement moved through the rows. Delegates nodded, or flashed lights, or sent bubble patterns. The session began with routine reports. Trade numbers rose. Border patrols reported calm. Mentioned humans anymore. They thought the problem ended. Then the first alert came. A small chime sounded from the Solaran water station. The station floated near the Perseus arm edge. A Solaran operator touched a panel. The main screen showed red warning lights. The relay station went dark. Not broken, not attacked, just silent. All channels carried no signal. The operator sent a fast message to a patrol ship. The ship answered quick. It flew to the station in under 1 hour. When it arrived, the crew looked through viewports. The station looked perfect. Lights glowed steady. Hull stayed whole. No holes, no scorch marks. The patrol sent boarding teams. The teams walked inside. They found every Solaran crew member asleep on the floor. Breathing stayed normal. Hearts beat slow. Life support worked fine. Food trays sat half-eaten. Chairs stayed pushed back. The teams checked logs. The last entry showed normal work. Then one line repeated over and over in simple binary code. "We were never here." The teams searched more. They found no weapons fired, no struggle, no poison in the air. The crew just slept deep, like someone turned off their minds. The patrol captain sent pictures back to the council. The pictures showed sleeping aliens and the repeated words. More alerts came in fast. A Vorath listening post near the Orion Spur stopped talking. A core sensor net in the outer rim went quiet. A Clethari supply depot lost contact with its drones. One by one the reports piled up. All places stayed intact. All crews stayed alive. All logs ended with the same message. We were never here. The council hall grew noisy. Delegates stood up. They talked loud. They waved arms and tentacles. The Clethari Arbiter tried to keep order. It raised both claws high. It spoke over the noise. "Calm yourselves. We investigate now. No need for fear." But fear spread anyway. A tall Vorath delegate flashed bright red colors across its body. It pointed at the big holomap. Sectors marked in yellow. All yellow spots sat near old human roots. All yellow spots reported the same silence. "They did something," said the Vorath delegate in its deep voice. "They touched our stations. They left no trace. They left only words." A Celeron in a water bubble sent fast bubble patterns. The patterns meant worry. They said the sleeping crews woke up slow. They remembered nothing after a certain time. They said the time matched when human ships vanished. The core minds linked together. They fought hard. They sent one voice from their group. The voice sounded like grinding stones. "Our calculations say no stealth can hide this much. No weapon can silence this many places without damage. Yet damage does not exist. Therefore the humans did not attack. They withdrew. They cleaned every sign. Delegates looked at each other. Some laughed nervous laughs. Some stayed quiet. The laughs sounded thin now. The Arbiter called for full scans. Borders. It ordered probes sent to human colony worlds. The probes launched fast. They flew toward Earth space. They sent pictures as they moved. The pictures showed empty orbits. No stations. No defense platforms. No cargo haulers. The old human yards that once built slow ships looked abandoned. Tools lay neat. No workers moved. No lights glowed. One probe reached the Sol system edge. It stopped at the old borderline. The probe sensors swept wide. It found nothing. No ships, no signals, no heat from engines. The space looked clean, like someone swept it with a big brush. The probe sent its last message back. Then it went dark too. No explosion, no attack, just silence. The council received the feed. The feed ended with empty stars. Panic grew real now. Delegates shouted questions. No one had answers. The Clythari Admiralty sent warships to search. They found the same nothing. Supply depots stood empty with perfect locks. Listening posts had clean memory banks. Every record of human contact erased back many days. A small group of delegates gathered near the empty human podium. They stared at it. One core rock mind touched the podium with a heavy arm. It spoke low. They stood here yesterday. They spoke calm words. They left without anger. Now they leave nothing behind. Another delegate, a thin flying creature, hovered close. It whispered. They did not run in fear. They chose to go. They chose to disappear. The Arbiter watched from high. It felt cold inside its shell. It remembered the laughs. It remembered the words, hairless ape and small world. It remembered how easy the vote felt. Across the hall, screens showed more reports. Entire trade fleets reported missing parts. Human-made engines stopped arriving. Human data streams vanished from the nets. Human entertainment files no longer played. The galaxy felt holes where humans used to fill space. A final transmission arrived on every council channel. Audio only, no picture. The voice sounded human, female, calm. This is Fleet Admiral Marina Voss of Sol Command. All human people, ships, bases, and interests return home now. The Galactic Concordance spoke clear. We accept the decision. We withdraw from all shared space. Do not follow. Do not send messages. The border closes today. The voice paused short. The borderline sits at these coordinates. A sphere of 50 light-years around Sol. Inside is human territory. Outside belongs to you. Cross without invite, and we see war. We answer as needed. No angry words came. No threats of fire or death. Just facts stated plain. The message ended. A map appeared on every screen. The small sphere glowed blue around the yellow dot of Sol. The sphere looked tiny in the big galaxy map. Delegates stared at the map. Some laughed weak. Some sat down hard. The Arbiter looked at the sphere. It looked small. It looked weak. But something in the quiet voice made the Arbiter feel watched. The humans never showed their strength. They showed only politeness. Politeness ended. The galaxy stared at empty space. It wondered what lived behind the blue line. It wondered how long the silence would last. The council hall grew quiet. Delegates left slow. No one laughed anymore. The empty podium stood like a warning. The stars outside stayed bright. They watched. They waited. They knew more than anyone. The council hall on Vexara Prime felt different now. Delegates rushed in from every direction. Their faces showed worry. Their voices rose high. No one sat calm anymore. The big crystal walls seemed to close in. The air recyclers worked hard, but the room still felt thick with fear. Emergency lights glowed red around the edges. The Clethari High Arbiter stood at the center podium. It tried to speak loud over the noise. "Order, please. We must stay calm. We gather facts. We decide next steps." No one listened well. Voices overlapped in many languages. Some shouted. Some whispered fast. Some sent light flashes that meant panic. The Vorath delegates flashed bright, angry colors across their bodies. The Solarans sent wild bubble storms in their tanks. The Quarmines ground together so loud it hurt ears. A Clethari officer ran to the podium. It handed the Arbiter a thin data crystal. The Arbiter touched it. The main holoscreen above everyone lit up with new reports. Red markers covered more sectors. Human silence spread wider. Every scout sent to check human routes never came back. Their last signals showed normal flight. Then, nothing. One scout ship sent a picture before it vanished. The picture showed empty space. No ships, no stations, no lights. Just black. The council stared at the image. Some delegates made small, scared sounds. "They must use perfect cloaking," said a tall Vorath delegate. Its voice shook a little. "No race hides this many ships. No technology allows it." Another delegate, a small flying one, hovered close. It spoke quick. "They do not hide. They remove. They take everything away. We see no cloaked ships because no ships remain." The Arbiter raised both claws high. "Enough guesses. We send more ships. We force contact. We demand answers." Before anyone answered, a new transmission arrived. It came on every channel at once, audio only. The voice belonged to the same human female from before. Fleet Admiral Marina Voss spoke again. Her words came slow and clear. "Your ships approach our line. We warned once. We warn again. Turn back now. The border stays closed. No entry allowed without invite." The message ended fast. No picture appeared. The council hall went quiet for one long moment. Then noise exploded again. Delegates shouted. They pointed at the screen. They demanded action. "Send warships now," said the Clethari Arbiter. "We show strength. We make them talk." Warships launched from nearby bases. Fast, sleek ships with strong weapons. They flew toward the blue sphere on the map. The sphere looked small on the big hollow. But every ship that crossed the line vanished too. No battle flashes. No distress calls. No debris. The trackers lost them clean. One warship captain sent a voice message before silence fell. "Admiral, we see nothing ahead. Space stays empty. Sensors read normal. We move forward now." The message cut off. The ship icon blinked out on the map. Another followed, then 3 more. The council watched in horror as green friendly icons turned red, then disappeared. "They do not fight. They erase," said a core voice from the rock group. "They take our ships into their silence." The Arbiter felt cold inside its shell. It remembered the human ambassadors standing so still. It remembered the calm bow. It remembered the easy laughs. The laughs tasted bitter now. Delegates argued more. Some wanted to attack hard. Some wanted to beg for talks. Some wanted to seal borders and forget humans existed. No plan felt right. No plan felt safe. Hours passed. The hall lights dimmed for rest cycle, but no one left. Screens kept showing empty space. Reports kept coming in. Trains stopped in many lanes. Alien factories that used human parts sat idle. Ships waited for fuel that never arrived. Entertainment nets lost human shows and songs. The galaxy felt gaps everywhere. A small Celeron delegate swam to the front. It spoke soft. "We laughed at them. We called them weak. Now we pay the price of our words." The Arbiter looked down at the bottom. Empty human podium. No one sat there now. No one spoke from there. The podium looked like a grave marker for something lost. Night cycle came again. The delegates stayed in the hall. They watched the map. The blue sphere around Sol stayed steady. No ships left it. No signals came out. Inside that sphere, humans worked unseen. They built, they planned, they waited. Admiral Marina Voss stood on the bridge of her flagship. The ship hid deep in the dark between systems. Lights stayed low. Crew moved quiet. Screens showed the galaxy outside. The blue borderline glowed soft on the main display. She looked at her officers. They nodded once. Reports confirmed. All assets inside, all outsiders gone. The withdrawal finished clean. She spoke low. They wanted us gone. We gave them what they asked. Now they learn what gone really means. A young officer looked up. Admiral, will they try again? Voss smiled thin. Maybe. They always do. But next time they think twice before they laugh. Back to the window. Stars filled the black. They looked peaceful. They looked patient. Humanity stayed inside its line. The line held strong. The galaxy stayed outside. The galaxy waited. Back on Vexara Prime, the council session dragged on. Delegates grew tired. Voices grew hoarse. The Arbiter finally spoke, quiet. We adjourn for now. We think, we watch, we wait. Delegates left slow. Some walked alone. Some talked in small groups. No one laughed. The hall emptied. The empty podium stayed. The stars outside shone bright. They saw everything. They kept silent. In hidden shipyards inside human space, work continued. Big hulls grew, bigger guns mounted, quiet engines tested, crews trained hard. No one spoke of revenge. No one spoke of war. They spoke of readiness. They spoke of home. The galaxy turned slow. Days became weeks. Trade slowed more. Economics shook. Planets felt shortages. The council met again and again. No answers came. The silence from Sol stayed deep. The Clythari Arbiter stood alone in the big hall one night. It looked at the human podium. It touched the smooth surface. It whispered words no one heard. We mocked them, and they left us. The words hung in the air. The hall stayed quiet. The stars watched. They always watched. They knew the story was not over. The weeks after the border closed felt strange across the galaxy. Planets kept turning. Stars kept shining. But something important went missing. The silence from human space grew deeper every day. Trade ships waited at old routes for cargo that never came. Alien factories stopped their machines because key parts stopped arriving. The parts came from Earth before. Now no one knew where to get more. In big spaceports, workers stood idle. They looked at empty docking arms. They talked quiet about the humans who used to bring fast deliveries and funny stories. The ports felt cold without the noise of human voices. The galaxy learned how much it leaned on the small blue world it once mocked. The Clythari High Arbiter walked the empty council hall alone at night cycle. It looked at the human podium again. The podium stayed clean and polished. No one dared move it. The Arbiter touched the smooth top. It remembered the calm ambassador. It remembered the vote. It remembered the laughs. Felt heavy now, like stones in its shell. Delegates met again and again. They argued about what to do. Some wanted to send gifts to say sorry. Some wanted to pretend humans never mattered. Some wanted to build new factories fast to replace human goods. No choice felt good. All choices felt late. Scout ships kept disappearing near the blue line. The council sent careful probes. Probes flew slow. They sent pictures of perfect empty space. Then the probes went dark too. No one knew if the humans took them, or if the probes just stopped working. The silence ate at everyone. Rumors started small, then grew fast. Some said humans built secret weapons in the dark. Some said they found a way to leave the galaxy. Some said they waited inside their sphere to see who would beg first. The rumors made sleep hard for many delegates. On distant worlds, children asked why the funny human cartoons stopped playing. Parents gave weak answers. They said the humans went home. They did not say the humans left, because everyone laughed at them. Economies shook harder. Rare metals from human mines stopped coming. Fusion tech that humans shared freely now cost too much to copy. Entertainment nets grew quiet without human music and games. The galaxy felt smaller without the noise it once hated. Inside the blue sphere, Admiral Marina Voss stood on her flagship bridge. The ship floated in high orbit around Earth. Lights stayed low to save power. Screens showed the galaxy map. The borderline glowed steady blue. No red dots crossed it. No alien signals tried to talk. Her officers worked around her. They checked systems. They trained crews. They built more ships in hidden yards. The work went quiet and steady. No one rushed. No one bragged. They knew the galaxy watched. They knew the galaxy waited. Voss looked at a young engineer. The engineer reported new shield tests passed perfect. Voss nodded. Good. She spoke soft. Keep building. Keep training. We stay ready. We stay home. Small. Yes, Admiral. We stay home. Voss walked to the observation deck. The deck had big windows. Stars filled every view. She thought about the council hall. She thought about the arbiter. She thought about the vote. She felt no anger. She felt calm. The galaxy asked for space. Humanity gave it. She spoke to the empty room. They wanted us out of sight. Now, we give them out of mind. Let them learn what empty feels like. Weeks turned to months. The council tried one last message. They sent it careful on open channels. The message asked for talks. The message offered trade again. The message said sorry in careful words. No answer came back. The blue sphere stayed silent. The Clithari arbiter received the no reply. It sat in its chamber. It looked at old pictures of the human ambassador standing calm. It closed its many eyes. It whispered to itself, "We pushed too hard. We laughed too loud. Now we sit in quiet." On alien news streams, experts talked for hours. They said humanity hid. Humanity planned. They said humanity changed. The experts used big words, but no one knew the truth. The truth stayed locked behind the blue line. Some brave traders tried to cross anyway. They flew small, fast ships. They hoped to sneak through. They sent final messages full of hope. Then silence took them too. The council stopped sending ships after that. The line stayed closed. The line stayed strong. Inside human space, life went on. Children played in parks. Ships flew between colonies. Gardens grew food. Factories built tools. Schools taught history. The history now included the day the galaxy laughed and humanity walked away. People talked about it calm. No hate grew. No revenge burned. They built for themselves. They lived for themselves. Voss met with other admirals in a quiet room. They looked at star charts. They planned long. They spoke of years ahead. One admiral asked, "What if they come back begging?" Voss looked up then. "If they come, we listen. If they come polite, we talk. Come proud, we stay silent." The admirals nodded. They understood. The galaxy taught its lesson. Humanity learned another. Far from Sol on Vexara Prime, the council hall lights dimmed for another night. The arbiter stood at the balcony. It looked at the stars. The stars looked back, cold and far. It thought about the empty trade lanes. It thought about the quiet nets. It thought about the missing laughter. It spoke to the dark. "We mocked a people who chose kindness. They gave us what we asked. Now we carry the weight of empty." The words floated away. No one answered. The hall stayed quiet. The podium stayed empty. The stars kept shining. They saw the change. They kept the memory. Inside the sphere, a new ship launched. It carried no weapons. It carried seeds and tools. It flew to a new system inside the line. Colonists waved from viewports. They smiled. They looked forward. The galaxy outside stayed dark to them. The galaxy outside no longer mattered. Voss watched the launch from her bridge. She raised a hand in quiet salute. "Safe travels," she said, soft. The ship jumped away clean. The sphere held strong. The silence held deeper. The story of mockery ended. The story of absence began. The galaxy turned on without humans. It turned slower. It turned lonelier. It learned the hard truth. Some absences fill with noise. Some absences fill with nothing. And nothing teaches best.